In a multiple offer situation as a buyer, should you do inspections? Well, that depends. So if you're thinking about using the strategy of foregoing inspections to get a property, or you're bidding on a property and it has, 5 offers on it, and you're thinking if we include inspections in our offer, we may not get the property, what should you do? Well, there's a certain level of risk you take on if you forego inspections. That risk is greater if you have a 1970s house with a roof age unknown, boiler age unknown, septic age unknown, private well, don't know when the last water test was, versus a house that's just a couple years old that might be public water or had a water test done recently and you know the results, and everything in that house that's only a few years old is only a couple of years old. So, with that said, if you are going to make an offer on a house, no inspections, there's a few things to consider. If you're offering on a house that's only a couple of years old, it's public water, might have a septic system, might be public sewer, there's a few things to consider, but all things considered, if you do put that offer in no inspections, you should still inspect the home. When will you inspect the home? After you buy it. And the reason for that is you don't know if there's mold growth in the attic. You don't know if the roof is failing even though it's only a couple of years old. You don't know if someone might have driven over the septic a few years ago and crushed some pipes and maybe it needs a repair or maybe it needs to be replaced. So if you do go in with no inspections in your offer, you should budget accordingly. And when you budget accordingly, budget for worst case scenario. In a newer house that's only a couple of years old, budget for it. If you know the water's good, worst case scenario, you might have a septic issue, maybe some repairs throughout the house, maybe there's mold in the attic. Always assume the worst. You can probably get away with assuming about 20 grand worth of repairs needed. And let's say you inspect it after you buy it and there's no issues that need immediate repair, you just made 20 grand. Now, if you can't afford to budget that additional money on top of what you're paying for the home, you really can't afford to buy it, no inspections. If you're looking at an older home from say 1970, the age of the roof is unknown, the age of the boiler is unknown, there's a chance that both could be at the end of their life. A roof that's at the end of its life could be leaking, so there could be mold in the attic, so there's a chance for a need of mold remediation. If you don't know the water quality, there's a chance that there's, especially in our area in southern Maine, there could be arsenic, could be uranium, you don't know about radon. There's a lot of risk with that offer going no inspections compared to a newer home, so you might want to budget a bit more for repairs. And if you can't afford that higher amount for repairs, you shouldn't be offering on that house no inspections. Even if it's a great deal, even if you think it's the perfect home for you, you got to factor in that risk. And at the end of the day, if you're willing to take that risk. So that's something for you to decide. If you think putting in an offer, no inspections, will be the difference between getting the house and not, are you willing to take that risk? That's all I have for this week, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you all around.